Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and to all of our viewers, listeners, supporters, subscribers, to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. And I also want to take this opportunity to say thank you for your time and thank you for being a part of the family here at the musiciantrainingcenter.com. Um, Today, what we're going to do is something a little fun. There are certain parts of the service where you can actually just kind of, do some things, be creative and flow. Talk music and just kind of have a good time. This particular part of the service, we're talking about the offering. All right, so we're going to show you some pretty decent uh, chords that you can use during the offering. Will be in the key of D flat. All right, and we'll probably take an advanced approach here. So yeah, y'all come on in, and again, I'm Jabbar Brown here with the musiciantrainingcenter.com. So let's get started. All right, glad you're here. Now, let's get started here. So again, we're in the key of D flat. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to play the chords kind of slow, and then there's two parts. I'll go through the first part, then I'll go through the second part, and then we'll bring it all together. And depending on how we flow in this lesson, perhaps we can explore some options and give you some things to consider as ideas. All right, so you're not just playing the same chords the whole time, but you can improvise just a little bit. So let's see how we progress in the lesson. All right, so here we go. All right, let's do that again. This is the first part. You know what? And let's go ahead and go to the second part. So let's play the first part, and I'll play the second part as well. Sorry about that. Hit a wrong chord. Let's do that again. All right. So let's break down what's going on here, and then we'll put it back into context. We'll play the actual speed that I intended to show at some point. Okay, so let's break down the chords. All right, you got your D flat major 9 on your 1, and this is on your 3. If you're familiar with your numbers, the 3 of D flat is F. All right, 6. Then we're going to move to a 5-1-4. 5, 1, 4, 6, 2. Okay, that's the first part. Now, what you're actually going to do is immediately go to, which in the key of D flat, we could look at this as a flat 5. So you're dropping your bass note is on G. And then you're going 7, 3, 6. All right, a little fun chord right here, B flat major 9, 13. And then you go back to your 5-1-4. 5, 1, 4, 6, 2. Now to reset on 5, let's look at this. All right. And sometimes what I like to do is I'll play this chord. All right. Over the 5. And you can mix it up. Okay. So let's do it again. And there's a couple of things that I did along the way. Excuse me. And not, it's not very complex. It's actually quite simple. But, sometimes simple really makes a big difference. And simple can really help you create a launch pad to do more complex things. Starting simple, create a nice solid foundation, and then you can just kind of keep going a little higher every time, incorporating or implementing different ideas. Okay, so what I did was I did a half step movement. So this is our primary chord. So, all right, this is our E flat diminished. Yeah. What you can do is, all right, we just made a half step move. All right. So I went back a half step, just kind of rolled into the chord. All right. And even with this, I actually took a whole step movement that time. Okay. And you can go half step. Sorry. All right. So you can do whole step, you can do half step, and sometimes you can even you can do stuff like that, but it just depends. So, I was just trying it to see if it would. All right. Let's do that again. Now, what I'm doing, let me explain to you what I'm doing, and then we'll play it and see if it makes sense. Okay. Instead of just going a half step back, all right, what I decided to do, E flat, this is our E flat major chord. This is the chord that I'm going to use in the right hand. So, all right, I'm going to see if I can play 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm dropping back three half steps, all right, and it might not. We'll see if it works. All right. But sometimes while you're playing, you just try stuff. A lot of times I'll do that. I'll just try something. If I think of it like a split second before the chord, I may just try something. Okay. And you don't have to do the whole chord. You can actually just, all right, you can just do single notes. And we're still hitting the E flat. It's no longer this chord. Okay, so let's do that. And keep in mind, the only thing that we're doing, just to kind of add a little bit more flavor to it, is taking the approach of dropping maybe a half step back or maybe a whole step and rolling into the chord. Sometimes that makes a world of difference. Just very simple things like that. You can also go up a half step or up a whole step and drop back to your primary chord. Okay? So you can roll back or you can roll up to your primary chord. All right? So here we go. It worked. All right? Yeah, so it worked. Might be a little sloppy. Okay? All right? Okay? So you can actually have fun with these chords. You can do a lot of things with them. I think I actually made a mistake. And sometimes mistakes sound good as well. It was with the second chord. I believe I hit this D flat. So all right, that right hand chord won't work, but here's the last idea, something that you can do. All right. So what we did originally was, all right, so let's still use this chord, all right, so our B flat minor 9, okay. So let's still use that, but I accidentally hit this D flat, so we'll use that. All right. Now what I'm doing to kind of emphasize this chord or make this chord stand out, again, it's some of the little things, is I'm rolling up, and I'm rolling up from the B. All right. Now if you want your C to stand out more, then we could take this approach. All right. So now we're just kind of playing around with this. Well, by itself is a D flat major 7, but we add this together, B flat minor 9 now. Okay. All right, as you can see. So that is just an option. Now we could just keep going on and on and on with this. We got the foundation, we got the chord. So just kind of looking at some ways to expand on what we already have. Starting simple. We actually made a mistake. Well, I made a mistake, and I thought I heard a D flat. So, all right. So yeah, we'll go back over it one more time. We'll just slow it down, and we'll just wrap everything up, okay? All right. So I hope this tutorial has been a blessing to you. This is actually, at least I think, it's a good practice tool as well, because you're using 7-3-6, 5-1-4. You're using progressions like those, and you're playing a consistent pattern, a consistent sequence. So not only is this something pretty cool to use during offering, you guys can just jam to it, be creative, make mistakes like I did, and try to make the mistake work. And sometimes you might sound a little sloppy, but if you practice it, or if you find that it's just not coming together, then practice until it does. But if for some reason it doesn't come together, then figure out a way to improvise and still be able to use part of the idea. You might not be able to use full chords like a 3-finger chord, or a 4-finger chord to make it work. Maybe just simplify it like I did and just use a single note, and still try to incorporate the left hand, or implement the left hand chord. Incorporate, all right? And figure out a way to make it work. But at the end of the day, have fun, okay? Have fun, and also make sure that if you're going to do something different, if you have a talkback mic, if there's a way that you can communicate to the band, then make sure that you communicate to them the change that you want to make, or something that you want to do. Like call their attention to something like, hey guys, listen to this chord on the 3. All right. So they're listening for what you're doing on the 3. And once they hear it and they understand what you're doing, then you can all do it together. It might just be spontaneous. Okay? But yes, have fun. And again, as far as this being a training tool, take this from the key of D flat, go up a whole step to E flat, or drop back a half step to C, drop back to B flat, or something like that. And let this be a training tool. If you're not used to playing in certain keys, or if you feel like, you need a little work in some keys, let this be a training tool for you to help get you familiar with that particular key. All right? So again, Jabbar Brown here with the musiciantrainingcenter.com. Listen, we're all about doing the work and seeing the results. And I believe that as you do the work, as you do this work here, establishing a foundation and building from that foundation, you're doing the work, you're going to see the results because you have a solid foundation. All right? So until the next time, I think I've talked enough and you get the point. You guys, take care. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Be safe out there. And we'll see you soon here at the musiciantrainingcenter.com. Jabbar Brown signing out.